Hello, thank you for visiting my channel. If this is your first time here, I create content all about being a medical assistant and also CPR and first aid. So this channel is ideal for anybody who is thinking about going to school for medical assistant, or maybe already in school, or maybe a new graduate, or if you are considering teaching CPR and first aid and you're wondering if that business is right for you. So you guys know I'm a medical assistant instructor, and recently I did an answer and interview questions assignment with my students. And one of the questions was, what are two of your weaknesses? And one of my students said, I do not have any weaknesses. Let me just tell you, you never want to say this to an employer or put this on a job application. Why? Because if you are human, you have a weakness. We all have weaknesses. You know, I believe that not being able to admit your weaknesses is a weakness in itself. I'm just going to say that, because you have to be self-aware. Now, on my primary YouTube channel, Thinking Like a Virtuous Woman, I did a video a while back on being self-aware. I'm going to link that below in the description box, because I want you to watch it and I want you to understand that being self-aware is the beginning of being able to be your best self. Because once you know what you need to work on, then you can then put those things in place. But if you're not aware of those things, you can never be better, because you're not aware, or maybe you're aware but you just don't want to admit it. So I will link that below. But anyway, you want to be honest about your weaknesses. Now, you don't want to say a weakness like, you know, I am often late for work, or I don't know, one of my weaknesses, I don't know how to get up on time. Things like that. You don't want to say that, because then, you know, you don't want them to look at you and say, no, we don't want to hire him. We don't want to hire her, right? You don't want to say, one of my weaknesses is hard for me to keep a job. You don't want to say that, right? Because you don't want to say anything that's going to turn a potential employer off, right? Now, if it's hard for you to think about weaknesses, you can even think about your strengths. Like I often tell my students, right? You can use one of your strengths as a weakness. Like for me, one of my strengths is being empathetic. I am very good with empathizing with people, putting myself in their shoes and being able to understand and feel what they're going through. But that's also a weakness for me, because then sometimes I take on too much. Like I literally take people problems on. I go home and I'm thinking about something one of my students told me, or something one of my patients told me. So that's actually a weakness of mine. Another strength of yours could be that you're very nice and kind. However, a weakness could be that you are sometimes too nice, too kind, to the point where people take advantage of you, to the point where you don't know how to speak up for yourself. So think of ways that you can even turn your strengths into weaknesses. And so one of the things that I want to challenge you on, making a list of your weaknesses. Make as many as you can, and think about which of those weaknesses would you be willing to discuss with an employer. Be real with yourself. Check out my video on being self-aware, and just really think about those things that you need to work on, because the question may come up and you want to be able to answer honestly, because that employer will be turned off if you say I have no weaknesses, because that's going to tell that employer that you are not self-aware and that you are not trying to better yourself. So I hope that this video was helpful. Please let me know if you have a video suggestion or a question. You can leave it in the comments below, or you can email me. I'll leave it down below in the description box. If you enjoyed this video and found value in it, like it, and also share it with someone who you know may benefit from it. Thank you again for visiting my channel. Be blessed.